What's up? Welcome back to Screen Fiend, and this is the movie review for the film The Photograph, starring LaKeith Stanfield and Issa Rae. Now, The Photograph was something I'm like, well, what is this? I was so caught off guard by it. But I knew from looking at the trailer, this was something I was going to have to see with a woman. And it came out Valentine's Day. And I'm like, man, I didn't really hear too much about it. Then I thought about what happened on Valentine's Day. I said, oh, yeah, okay. That's why I didn't go. But I probably didn't go see it anyway or didn't run into it until later on. But to explain this movie, it's a lot of different tropes involved in one movie. And it's hard to pull off. It makes it kind of confusing, but I got it. I got it and I got what the direction is. I just have a hard time. I have a hard time believing the audience will get it. And for me, Issa Rae and LaKeith Stanfield, it just it just didn't kind of hit. It was a romantic film that kind of really wasn't. And Stella Meghie, I'm not gonna say her direction was bad because it was actually pretty well directed and it looked beautiful in moments. And Shantae Adams, who played the Christina Ames, who I believe played Roxanne in the Roxanne movie. And it's like a doom story that kept repeating itself. It starts off going back telling Issa Rae's mother's story and how her life came up as she's reading her mother's letters and how she came to be in her life and the things and the disconnect she had for her mother. How her mom really was a person that had a whole nother life. She was more than just her mother. So as she read this letter, she got to see more of why her mother was the way she was, and she felt more connected now with her mother more than anything. And her mom was a photographer, and it kind of led to her going down the field. And Stanfield was a reporter, and it had so many tropes that were going on in this film that they became a little bit of side distractions and they never kind of panned out. And a lot of it could be too much for people, but I got it. But the average person who walks into this is going to be confused, and she's felt forced to be faced with choices that you're like, you're not really connected to the choices because you don't really believe the chemistry is that strong between the two that fast for it to be something that mattered that much. It wasn't a lot of time that went by in the choices. So, is the movie watchable? Definitely. I mean, they had some great performances in here, and it was probably one of the best performances played by his brother. And I can't think of the comedian's name. Doggone it. Who played his brother? The guy who was in the basketball movie. Lil Rail. That's him. From Get Out. He was great. Him and his wife, you know, they were great. His friend was great. All of that stuff they played, it worked. Like his brother, I mean, he added the comedy. Lil Rel brought, and probably was the funniest he's been in a movie in a while. And that was in The Photograph. Then I've noticed they got him on the Hollywood diet for real. He done lost about 150 pounds. I can't even recognize him no more. But him and LaKeith Stanfield are brothers. And, he's having commitment problems. Like, he always get in a relationship and they don't last more than 12 weeks. And I can relate to that because I'm like, hey, that's me. So right away, I could connect to the stories. It's just, it's hard to weave it all together. So it's definitely gets a 2.5 out of my book out of 4 stars. It's watchable, it's understandable. Some people can get lost watching this movie, but the soundtrack in these movies, oh my God, they're amazing. All the choices for the songs are great. I'm looking for the Photograph soundtrack right now just to get on that playlist. But yes, definitely go check out that movie. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out. Deuces.